Hello to all, peace and chaos, and balance and alignment to all. I am on my lunch break outside in nature, enjoying some of my Earl Grey tea for my stomach, and some nuts, pistachio mix, and some already sliced cantaloupe. And later I will have some chamomile tea today. And I would like to share a message in following up to the last one. Rest is extremely important after going through the day and making it through on your journey, wherever you are on your journey. If it's a spiritual journey, if it's a financial journey, if it's a journey in your relationships to have closer connection and intimacy, or if it's purely your self-concept and your self-image. How do I look in the clothes that I wear? How do I accessorize? How do I feel if people compliment or, judge my appearance, right? And all of those things have to be balanced for the mind to be balanced, or else it is deemed psychotic in nature. And sadly, a lot of us are waking up to the higher vibrational energy of, you're not from this world, you're not from this earth, you do not belong here, do not have attachments to people or places or things. And it's completely ping-ponging the concept of, I'm human, I'm inhuman, I'm human, I'm inhuman, right? And this is the psychosis first, right? This is the number one psychosis that I'm seeing people go through. They're having this awakening within themselves and having the concept that they can be more. And I'm seeing some, myself included, because I literally just felt like I got out of it recently through resting, right? But when we go through times of conquest or times of spiritual journeys, or we have something in our life that we don't like and we try everything to move around or shift or change so that one thing can change, right? And I want this message to be conveyed simply as a warning to some of the people that are taking their spirituality or whatever journey that they're on and just beating themselves with it, beating themselves with a concept, or beating themselves with this goal that they have, and their focus has become hyperfixation, and that hyperfixation often turns into feelings of depression or feelings of anxiety, or people feeling like they have ADHD and they can't focus, or people having OCD, right? Like, you can go into any of these mental health spectrums with just having an idea or a concept that you've taken too far. So I want to caution people in their journey as a follow-up to that resting video, because when we don't rest and we overthink and we, put a magnifying glass to something, or we take off our glasses, right, to the reality around us, to the world around us, and we become blind, right? We can blind ourselves by taking ourselves out of reality. And this turns into mania or manic episodes where people, again, myself included, I have previously been through this, so I feel like this is very important to share this perspective, right? I'm no longer a perfectionist. I'm no longer seeking to have everyone's approval, and I'm no longer trying to have this spiritual conquest. And, it was reflected a lot of times back to me that everything is okay, like people are there to support you, people are there for you. And, sometimes if you take yourself out of reality and you're too much in your head, you can make your conquest other people's conquest, which is how religious wars or religious, back and forth, your God, my concept of this land, your concept of this land, whatever, you can take it and apply this to anywhere in life, really, because that is the ultimate psychosis, when people feel like their version or their journey or their conquest has to be everyone else's conquest, which is the concept of taking your frustrations or your feelings or your convictions out onto other people. Therefore, this concept of psychosis and bringing your psychosis to other people and having groups of people come together to bring their psychosis out into the world is the biggest block or impediment or thing that is stopping the progress, the lifting and raising of the vibrations, or the elevation of the individual, right? Because I could have all of this knowledge and I could have all of these experiences and I not share it to someone that I know that could help them. This information could help them, right? So we have to take a step back and think, how are we over focusing on things? How are we taking what's our responsibility and making it other people's responsibility? Because there are so many layers to psychosis, even just like on a little small scale. Psychosis is how people go in relationships and they keep the past and they say, this is what happened to me, I'm not going to release it or deal with it, I'm going to focus on something else. And in doing so, the psychosis has not left their subconscious. The psychosis stayed and formed a belief. And this is the issue about seeds of doubt. When people take their psychosis or take their experience or their journey, right, whatever you want to call it, and they use it and they keep the same perspective and they take it to other people, right, you're planting seeds of doubt, right? So I want this to be conveyed. Maybe another follow-up video could, definitely be used here. If anybody has any questions, also, I really would just like to help convey this message to people. So if you don't understand it or you think it could be worded differently, please let me know. I just really want to convey that because I have spent the last, May, June, and July. July, I'm just coming out of my psychosis. So May and June, I had a solid 2 months this year of just being like, what am I doing wrong? What can I do more of? And taking other responsibilities on that weren't mine. And I wasn't resting, and I wasn't tending to my body or my, spiritual body. And thus the psychosis occurred. And I wasn't resting, and I wasn't taking time to write things down, to journal, to contemplate, or to have enough fluids. Some of us simply have taken our agency and given it to others, which is also another form of psychosis, is people pleasing. And that's another thing that I could talk on for hours and hours and hours, how people pleasing is causing us to take our responsibility and our power and give it to others. So there's very layered levels of psychosis, and how far it goes up or down is up to you. But I would like to convey the message that please do not do anything or take out anything onto others. You are lowering your vibration and you are attracting very, very tricky energy that way. So please protect your mind and protect yourself on your own journey and rest.